I was just looking around this old transfer case, and Curtis was on about changing the gears, but you can see in the casing here how this shaft has been banging about. That's metal, it's not filled. Somebody's put silicone everywhere, look, but that's been banging about. That's, yeah, I know you can put a bush in from Ashcroft's, but judging by the rest of it, how it's got all ground up, I'd have to say no. I'm going to salvage this diff lock cover because that'll come in handy for a disco too, and after that it's going to be scrap. So today's job, we're going to do the oil and things on this truck, but first of all we're going to replace these hoses. We've done it before. I thought I'll show you again how we do it, and make new hoses for the transfer case and the transmission, because we need to do a pressure test of this new transfer case and gearbox to make sure it's not leaking before we fill it with flushing oil. Right, so let's get on with that. So to replace these pipes couldn't be simpler. You get a knife, cut off the old piece of pipe if possible. There we go, cut that off, and then we're going to look for a bolt that's going to go through there. I think it's 3/8 or 10mm. 10mm is a beautiful snug fit. Next thing, going to get one of these things here. You get them with those cheapy brake line makers and plumbing things. They're absolutely no good for that, but they're good for this. What do we do? I think this pipe is 1/4 inch inside diameter, because we can't get metric stuff here. Put your pipe through. Just, well, I'll have to zoom out a bit here. So put your pipe through just a little bit, because you want to support it. Right. Chuck it in your vise. No doubt this vise won't nip it up properly, but we'll just have to do it at a bit of an angle. Your hammer. The reason why we put the bolt in is so we don't accidentally collapse the banjo fitting. You don't have to warm it up. Let's do this. Let's have a look in real time. Here we go. Sorry about the mess up behind. I'm too busy. So tap it. And there you go. Perfect. Now you can do that with all fuel lines. So instead of buying fuel lines like you used to do before, just use that method, but remember to support the banjo bolt, because although it doesn't take much tapping, you might find a hose that's a bit bigger and it'll collapse that bit. You know, better being safe than sorry, and all it is a 10mm bolt. Right, so now I've made these longer than original, and I'm not going to put the curly wop end on, you know, like it's got a little curly thing like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a convenient hole in the bulkhead, because there's a channel just below the gutter line, and I'm going to poke them through there, because then water and stuff can't get into it. That's easy enough. So I'm going to fit these now, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to pressure test it. I just smoke tested the transfer case on this 300 TDI, and it was bubbling away like Mario, and then I got underneath and the speedo drive had popped out. Now it's not fastened into anything, but the o-ring obviously has got a little bit worn. Now it's got me thinking, this speedo drive we took off the old transmission, so has this o-ring here been, you know, treated by heat and buggered up, or had it failed and let the oil out? Could have done. Anything's possible. So we're going to put a new o-ring on, pop it back in and test it again. It should work.